Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. We're excited you've joined us today for our session on the top 10 mistakes in direct mail design. A few housekeeping details before we get started. This session is being recorded, and you should receive a link to the recording and a PDF of the slides tomorrow by email. Please feel free to share this webinar content with colleagues that could not attend today. A question and answer session will immediately follow the presentation. If you have a question for our speaker, please type it into the questions box in your GoToWebinar panel on the right side of your screen. This webinar is hosted and sponsored by Suttle-Straus. Suttle-Straus was founded in 1910. Over 100 years, our company has built up the equipment and expertise to handle almost any print project. We offer creative design services, web, sheet fed, and digital printing, wide format printing, direct and transactional mail, a print-on-demand technology for distributed networks, along with kitting and fulfillment. For more information, please visit us on the web at Suttle-Straus.com. Today, of course, we're going to be talking about mail. The kickoff today was a little poll to see who is using direct mail in their marketing mix right now. So if you want to choose one of the radio buttons, and then I will share the results in a couple of seconds. We'll see how many of you out there are already using mail, or how many of you are just thinking about it. Looks like we've got 46% of you have voted. So if you're checking your email, come back to us and get your vote in. I'll close the poll in a couple more seconds. All right, so it looks like about 60% of you are mailing frequently, 18% are doing it rarely, and 24% of you don't currently use mail, but you're planning to. Great. Now I'd like to introduce our speaker for today. Rob Hanks is a customer service representative here at Suttle-Straus and has more than 23 years of experience in direct mail, making him our resident mail expert. Rob is a Certified Mailpiece Design Professional through the United States Postal Service and serves as the Industry Co-Chairperson for the Greater Madison Area Postal Consumer Council. Rob enjoys the challenges of mailpiece design within postal regulations and helping his clients save on postage costs. Rob, I'm going to hand it over to you. You can take it away.
Thank you. Hi, how's everybody doing today? How do I get the next slide? I'm going to start out with a little bit of news. The Postal Regulatory Commission has approved the USPS request for a postal rate hike. First-class letters under 1 ounce are increasing from 49 cents to 50 cents, so go out and buy your forever stamps now before the new rates go into effect. And the cost of each additional ounce is remaining at 21 cents each. First-class metered mail is also increasing by 1 cent, as is the domestic postcard rate, which is going from 34 cents up to 35 cents. Priority mail flat rate pricing is going up approximately 5 cents per product type. Additional information will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And now the top 10 most common mistakes. Mistake number 1, not meeting minimum mailing dimensions. Number 2, dark black background color on mail pieces. Number 3, screening and imaging. 4, return address places on letters and flats. Number 5, text or graphics in the barcode clear zone. Number 6, postcard design. Number 7, insert shift. Number 8, folded self-mailer construction. Number 9, address placements on flats. And number 10, requesting uniquely assigned business reply mail zip+4 codes. All right, mistake number 1 is not meeting minimum mailing dimensions for a first-class postcard or marketing mail letter. The minimum height is 3.5 inches and minimum length is 5 inches. Minimum thickness is 1/1007 inch for a first-class postcard which equates to either a 7-point or approximately an 80-pound cover stock. The minimum thickness for a marketing mail letter is 9/1000ths of an inch, which is a 9-point or 100-pound cover stock. And the reason for this is that marketing mail does not have a separate rate category for a postcard. I recommend going with a 100-pound cover stock if you're unsure if you're going to mail as a first-class postcard or as a marketing mail letter, and it's better to be safe than sorry. Plus, the added thickness gives the mail piece more of a substantial feel. Mistake number 2, black dark-colored background. The address IMB may not be able to be read if you do not have enough contrast between the background and the mail piece and the imaged address block. Black, fluorescent, and darkly colored backgrounds make it difficult for the USPS equipment to read the address block. Neutral and light pastel colors are recommended. One way you can test the contrast is to image samples of the mail piece and then make a black and white copy on a copier. If you have a hard time reading the address block and the copy, then the USPS equipment will not be able to read the mail piece either. This isn't 100% accurate, but it's a good starting point. Or if you're still unsure, you can always send samples to the USPS for testing, but that can take a couple of weeks to get results back. The third most common mistake is screening and imaging. Mail pieces with a screened background image that uses security paper have images bleeding through the mail piece, and paper with dark fibers or stripes can cause a mail piece to be disallowed for an automated postage rates. The USPS equipment can pick up that background or dark fibers and think it's part of the barcode. Mistake number 4 is the return address placement. The return address should be placed above the OCR read area, which is 2 3/4 inches up from the bottom of the mail piece. The return address should also be placed 1/2 inch in from the edge of the mailer. The reason for this being that the USPS reads an addressed mail piece from the bottom to top and from the right to the left, starting with the barcode clear zone. More on the barcode clear zone in a moment. By keeping the return address above the OCR read area, you will help eliminate the chance that postal equipment will read the return address and either return your mail to you or discard the mailing entirely. The fifth most common mistake is text or graphics in the barcode clear zone. The barcode clear zone is located in the lower right-hand corner of a mail piece, 5/8 of an inch up from the bottom, and extends from the right side lead edge over 4 3/4 of an inch. The USPS uses this area to spray a barcode if your mail piece does not contain one, or if your mail piece needs to be forwarded, i.e. Move update. A mailer may also use this area to place the IMB barcode on an alternative to placing the barcode in the address block and OCR read area, thus giving the mail piece a much cleaner look. Postcard design. As we discussed in a previous slide, the minimum size of a postcard is 3.5 inches high by 5 inches wide. The maximum size of a postcard is 4 1/4 inches high by 6 inches wide, with the minimum thickness of 7/1000ths of an inch and the maximum at 16/100ths of an inch. A postcard can be set up as either a vertical postcard or a horizontal postcard. A postcard that is set up as a vertical postcard has the address block, postage, and postal service markings on the right side of the card. The address block area must be a minimum of 2 1/8 inches wide from the right edge of the mailer. You also need a minimum of a 1 inch clear zone around the delivery address and a 1/2 inch margin from the right side of the card. The barcode would need to be placed in the barcode clear zone at the bottom. A horizontally divided card has the address, postage, and postal service markings in the lower 1.5 inch of the card, with your message in the upper portion of the card. As with a vertical card, a 1 inch clear zone around the delivery address is required. A barcode can be placed at either the top of the address block or the bottom of the in the barcode clear zone. Number 7 is insert shift. When imaging an address block and barcode on an insert and having it show through the window of an envelope, special care must be taken to ensure that barcode is visible through the window and to maintain the needed clearance. That clearance is needed is 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the barcode to the edge of the window, both the right and the left, and a 28/100 of an inch between the top or bottom of the barcode and the window of the envelope, depending if you are using a barcode above or below the address block. You also need that 28/100 of an inch between the barcode and the address itself. The USPS will perform a tap test on your mailpiece. Your mailpiece will be tapped on the left edge, right edge, and the bottom, and each time will be checked to ensure your barcode is visible with the required clearance. The UPS will not tap the mailpiece up. I recommend placing the barcode at the top of the address block since the post office isn't allowed to tap the mailpiece at the top. This will eliminate the barcode being too low in the window. When setting up your insert piece with the address block, a best practice is to always use both the longest and widest records from your database so that you can ensure that all necessary clearances, both top to bottom and left to right, are met.
So, Rob, you're saying the USPS is actually going to take my envelope with the letter inside and tap it on its edge on the counter to see how it shifts inside?
Exactly. It's what they're going to do. They're going to take a handful of your mail, they're going to tap it on a table, and they're going to look at it. Then they'll go to another tray further into the mailing and do the same thing. The 8th most common mistake is folded self-mailer construction. The definition of a folded self-mailer is a letter-sized mailpiece formed by 2 or more panels that are created when 1 or more unbound sheets of paper are folded together and sealed. The self-mailer can be sealed with either glue or wafer seals, and depending on the type of self-mailer and paper stock used will determine the number of glue dots and wafer seals. The fold must be either on the lead, which is the right edge, or at the bottom of the self-mailer. If the fold is at the top or on the left side of the self-mailer when looking at the address, the mailpiece is not mailable and would need to be redesigned or mailed out in an envelope. Number 9 is address placement for enveloped, polywrapped, or card-style flats. The address must be placed at the top half of a mailer that is taller than it is wide, and either on the right or the left side of the middle of a mailer that is wider than it is tall. For a flat-sized mailpiece made of multiple pages, the bound folded edge is the lead edge, and that determines the placement of the address. The address block orientation may end up being upside down or to the image on the mailpiece. The 10th most common mistake is requesting a uniquely assigned business reply mail Zip Plus 4 code. An application needs to be filled out and submitted in order to be assigned a business reply mail Zip Plus 4 code that can be then used in conjunction with business reply mail or QBRM reply mail. The area that most mistakes are made is choosing the correct size of return mail piece. The options are a postcard. Remember, we've discussed that in sizes in mistake number 6. A letter-sized mail piece under 1 ounce and a letter-sized mail piece under 2 ounces. When filling out the...
I was just going to ask, Rob, what happens if I fill this out wrong?
Well, it'll either cost you a lot of additional postage or you won't be able to get your mail back until you get the situation fixed. When filling out this application, asking the USPS for assistance makes this process much easier. And I've got a bonus mistake, INDICIA problems. One of the biggest mistakes I see with INDICIAs is the word mail missing from first class and pre-sorted first class INDICIAs. First-class indices need to say first-class mail or pre-sorted first-class mail. The word mail does not need to be included in a marketing mail, formerly pre-sorted standard indicia, a nonprofit indicia, or package services, formerly bound printed matter indicia. The other that comes up a lot is mixing of indicias. One example is mixing a first-class indicia with a nonprofit indicia. The USPS currently does not have a nonprofit pre-sorted first-class category at this time. So, if you have an indicia that says first-class mail, nonprofit org, U.S. postage paid, that is not valid. I've got some additional resources for you. With questions, you can ask your Suttle-Straus salesperson or customer service rep for help. You can go to the www.usps.com, which was nice enough to provide a lot of the information for this webinar. The Postal Explorer at pe.usps.gov, which contains the Domestic Mail Manual, International Mail Manual, and other various publications. www.postalpro.usps.com is probably one of your better sources to use now. The old RIBS website is coming down. Everything has been moved over to Postal Pro. It's a much easier, user-friendly system than the previous RIBS. And you can contact the Greater Madison Area Postal Customer Council at madisonpcc.com. We've got names and phone numbers of local USPS reps, along with additional links to information.
Thanks, Rob, for that informative presentation. We are now going to open it up for questions. If you have a question for our speaker, please type it into the questions box in your GoToWebinar panel on the right side of your screen. While everyone submitted questions, I wanted to remind you that this webinar has been sponsored by Suttle-Straus. If you are looking for a trusted vendor to help guide you through your next print or mailing project, please consider us and request a quote at Suttle-Straus.com. Little Rob, we have a question here from Carla, who's wondering, do you know what a nonprofit every door direct mail indicia would look like?
Actually, I'd have to look that up. I've never done a nonprofit EDDM mailing, but I can look that up for you and send you that information. We do have your information here. So,
do you want to share your thoughts on every door direct mail versus a saturation list?
Well, the difference between every door direct mail and the saturation list is with EDDM, the mail piece must be a flat size mail piece, whereas with the saturation mailing, you can send those out at a letter rate. EDDM is great for pinpointing areas that you want to mail to. You can remove people from the mail list, so that's a good thing. If you're a restaurant and you're sending out, you definitely don't want to send your marketing pieces to other restaurants in the area you're looking at saturating. So that's very helpful. With again with walk sequence mail, you can go with a letter size mail piece, so it's a little less expensive and postage wise. So those are the big differences.
Okay, Rob, say I still want to use a black envelope or a dark blue envelope or a fluorescent pink envelope so my mailing stands out in the mail. What's your recommendation for that?
You've got two ways you can go. If you're printing the envelope, knock out a address block area that can then be imaged, or if you're buying a pre-made envelope, you can go ahead and use labels and either image the label and then apply it to the envelope, or apply the envelope and then go back and image the address as a separate step.
So say I accidentally make one of these mistakes and my mailing is rejected by the USPS. What's that process going to look like for me?
Well, the first thing is the mail service provider or yourself will need to go down and pick up the mail, find out why it was rejected, and from there take the appropriate steps to fix it, which may include readdressing the mail, repackaging the mail, or resorting the mail.
Great. Well, that's all the questions we have for today. If you have more questions that come up later, you can email them to marketing@Suttle-Straus.com, and we can get back to you by email. Everyone should watch their email tomorrow for the link to the recorded presentation and a PDF of the slides. A feedback survey will pop up as you exit this webinar. Please let us know what you thought of this session. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.